a lot happening in the territory, huh, Sean?
That's right. Greetings, US greetings, Juenka. But let's select what is probably the hottest topic at the moment, the Tortola Pear Park and Roton Cruise Pear Development Project. We learned this week on the 25th that the cost of the project, both the marine side and the land side, is projected to be some $82.9 million. Now, that's significant because the initial projection, according to a fact sheet from the BVI Ports Authority, had placed the estimated cost around $57 million. And of course, as time progresses, we're going to get deeper into some of the reasons why that figure might have got to 82.9. But bear in mind that the minister responsible for the subject area, Honorable Mark Vanterpool, he gave a very comprehensive report on the project, and I'm sure he has really dispelled a lot of myths in doing so, despite, of course, the concerns about the cost being 82.9 million. One myth he dispelled is that the head tax is still $15 per person and not $7, because you may have heard, Juenka, that there were rumors, speculations that the head tax was now $7. Some even suggested it had gone below $7 and so forth. And the minister is saying we are guaranteed of 425,000 passengers coming through Norwegian, and of course there is the Disney agreements as well, and it's $15 per person. Significant amount of revenues there for government. So it's probably difficult to argue too much about the cost of the project when you look at the benefits that are likely to be derived.
Well, hopefully, Sean, we'll find out why we have such a great cost overrun, because, of course, what, $40 million, almost 40.
Just around, pretty much around $30 million.
$30 million
yes.
overrun is no easy figure, and I think the country wants to know how is it that we were able to originally bid such a low price, or estimate such a low price. So I'm looking forward to the audit to show why it is that we had such a great cost overrun. I mean, there are cost overruns in every project.
Yes.
Of course, but when you're talking about 40% more, it's almost double. So we are looking forward certainly to our audit. Did you hear the minister say anything about when such an audit would be
forthcoming? Well, he endorsed the idea, which was put forward by the Premier, that the government will move forward with an audit through an international independent source, an independent company. The Premier did not name that particular company. I suspect, of course, the government will be having those discussions. But one of the things that Honorable Vanterpool said, he said he wants that audit, and he's hoping that it can be done very soon. One would suspect, though, that there may have been some indications as to why there is a cost overrun, and given the fulsome nature of the minister's statement, it would have been good for him to include some of those facts. But because, for the most part, there isn't really much to show at this point, except to say Ideal Meridian, who did the marine side of the project, that is the cruise pier extension itself, their bid was around $30 million. And we are seeing that figure, after completion, ended up around $35.5 million, and there is still the floating dock to be done, which is some $1.3 million, taking the figure up to $36.8 million for the marine side of the project. And we are hearing from the minister, of course, that the land side aspect of the project will take somewhere around $37 million, give or take, I suspect, a few $100,000 in between, because we're looking forward to February 16th, and we were down there today. You're seeing the images on the screen. We were pretty much assessing where the project is from that vantage point where we stood in early January, on January 5th actually, and where they are now, and looking forward to see what is likely to be the end result come February 15th. Now, we are not saying the project will be finished on February 16th. Of course, there will be a grand opening, and last year the minister said the project was 80 to 85% complete. Based on that assessment, we are suggesting now that the project has to be somewhere around 90, 95% complete. But of course, there are other things, apart from the floating dock, there should have been a restaurant as well included in the project. We haven't seen that in the minister's statement. He alluded to the unfinished floating dock, which is to be done, 1.3 million, so some work still to be done there, but he didn't give any indication as to what's going to happen with the restaurant.
Did he mention anything about the variations to the project, additions, things
Yes,
that
definitely.
things that weren't in the original plans that they added?
And I think that is something that people will want to pay close attention to, because without being too specific, I mean, referring to some 11 buildings, obviously the number of buildings were reduced and the number of gazebos and so forth reduced. So there obviously had to have been some changes in the actual implementation of the project, which is not unusual. Of course, where the money would have gone in terms of what consumed that amount of money is something that I'm sure the authorities will be feverishly working overnight to get the facts out to the public.
Well, certainly one good thing about the project is that it would be revenue generating, and it's going to definitely be an asset to economic growth.
Definitely.
So, if it's some cost overrun that's justifiable, then it's okay.
And so be it. Yeah.
And so be it. And if we could, make some money from it, if the territory's economy can grow from it.
Already we're seeing that, and we've been reporting on that boost in tourism. We've shown it from different sides, and the minister himself, Honorable Mark Van der Poel, he said, he basically put it in his own words, saying we are going to have year-round, or we have already been experiencing year-round cruise tourism, because pretty much as of April last year, the numbers started flowing in when Norwegian arrived for the opening of the cruise pier and so forth, and even now we are seeing the numbers still rolling in. So significant amount of revenue, not just for government, taxi operators and everyone.
But have you been able to speak to any of the tour operators and the taxi drivers?
Oh yes,
and all the people in the stores and so on?
I would hasten to say you have not been watching JTV, but I wouldn't say that. I would. I'm sure many people would recall Keto. We had one of the latest conversations. What was with Keto, not a tour operator, but of course a major stakeholder, and he gave us some pretty interesting insights. And we've heard from one taxi operator who I recall very well, Mr. Collymore. They call him Beige actually. And he was very insightful in terms of what he has seen, the difference between prior to Tortola Pier Park and what's happening now. So it would be unfair to say that there hasn't been an improvement and a boost in the local tourism sector. The trickle-down effect, the economists, the different facets of the economy would have to be measured to really see. So the economists would have their job on their hands, the statisticians over there as well, to actually bring the facts out and show us the numbers as time rolls by.
And we're still on schedule for the February 22nd or 20?
For the final completion?
For the opening.
The opening is February 16th.
February 16th.
Yes, so
okay.
As the minister says, he's inviting everyone, and he repeated that. I'm not sure if he was sending an indirect message to the opposition bench saying we are hoping to see you there as well. But of course, rightly so, the opposition, they have a number of questions, in particular Honorable Andrew Foy, about the nature of the project, cost overruns and so forth. So it's going to be interesting going forward to see how those things pan out.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to it. Great report there, Sean. I'm sure that most of us are excited about what's going to happen February the 16th, and to have a chance to walk through and look at the new stores and feel the grounds beneath our feet. I think is going to be quite an event.
Take some selfies, post some photos on Facebook and so forth.
Great.